should have. And now that I'm thinking of it, I think I'm missing something here. I think there's supposed to be something on the bottom of that router. Maybe some kind of plate. Hey kiddos, welcome back. We're here with the collegiate mandolin, and as they used to call it in elementary school, you need to have some thinking time. Because, as you may notice, the back of this is bowed. The front of this is pretty close to being okay, except that that part would have to be pressed down. So the question is now becoming how best to do this, because the original parts have some issues, and I'll show you what I mean. I have holes in these, but these holes are not necessarily good guides, because, as most good instrument makers do, they don't initially assemble them with screws. These are aftermarket parts. You can see here that at one point the neck was off of this, because in order to sink a screw through the soundboard into the neck block, you have to remove the neck. So at one point that was done, and this part lines up okay here. It lines up kind of okay on the sides. So that would be the easier of the two sides to glue, in theory. The other side has had a screw into the tail block, or the end block, which doesn't exactly line up with, well, with anything. That is where that screw was, which, you know, I'm not, we all know how not smart I am, but even I know that's wrong. So, and there was another screw in the top of the back that went into the back of the neck. So, yeah. Now, if I attempt to just push these pieces together here, then here's the gluing issue that I start coming into. These are bowed out. And these are, here I've got a 1/4 inch gap, maybe even more than that. So the dilemma and the question is, how the hell do I do this? My initial thoughts are to build something called like a solara, and that's basically a board much like this piece of board that I found at the thrift shop. This was a bookshelf from some, I don't know, particle board thing, and I salvage stuff like this because, you know what, if I need to build a solara for a mandolin, how about I use this free piece of wood that will probably hold itself together long enough for me to get this completed, and then it has cost me the big goose egg. So the solara is a way to attach pieces that you're kind of wanting to glue together. And I've seen a couple of different versions of them, and I think the one that I like it's basically got channels cut basically all along the outside of the instrument shape, so that you can bring in L-shaped blocks and just fasten them down with machine screws, and kind of push things where you need them to go. That's the direction I'm leaning at the moment. We'll have to see. We will have to see. So that's really all that I had on this one. It was a couple 3 hours of me and an espresso machine and a toothbrush and some razor blades and such to get the glue off of the linings, off of the neck blocks and the end block, both sides of it. There's still a little bit along here, but we're not going to mess with that because that's not going to affect us. You can see I've gotten the glue off of here. I've gotten the glue off of here. I've probably got 95+% of the glue all gone. And in the meantime, I need to figure out how I'm going to want to glue this. I have Tight Bond. Do I want to suck it up and start thinking about going to hot hide glue for something like this? I know that's probably what I should do. I also know that there's a budgetary consideration with that, and everything here is done with a budgetary consideration. So I can move forward relatively soon putting this together if I go with the wood glue. If I go with hide glue, I've got to get the hide glue. I have to figure out some way to heat it to the temperature that it needs to be at, and keep it at that temperature, and you can kind of see where I'm going with that. So, all right, that's basically all there is for the moment. So here it is, the Collegiate Mandolin, causing me to stop and have a thinking day while big airplanes take off in the background. All right, check back, folks. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be done for the day, but I'm not. All right, I've decided already to go ahead and move forward with this. And here's a couple of interesting things that I'm finding already. Wow, where do I start? Well, you can see I've snapped a center line down my instrument, or down the piece of wood that I'm going to use, and I don't know if you can tell this or not. That block might be a little bit off as far as being centered, but being a mass-produced instrument of the 50s, that's probably status quo, especially since we don't really know who made this. Pimlico or Pimlico or whatever you want to call it. We're a distributor. We weren't as a manufacturer per se. So who knows where they sourced these from. Now I'm just going to take an outline, and then this is going to be my general range here. Because we know things are going to shift around a bit. So there we go. Now now what I'm going to do is I want to look at the areas that I know I'm going to want an anchor point, which will mean basically a channel routed in, and with that channel then we'll be able to move our blocks in. The plan is to have an L-shaped block of wood. This part of the L will hold the bolt to here, so I can move it in and out where I need to be, and the vertical face of that will push it wherever it needs to go. That's the plan. As we all know, every plan is perfect until it until it meets the enemy, and then everything just kind of goes ape crap from there. So I know I'm going to want one there. I know I'm going to want one there, there, and it's fun. I bet you can see the top of my head really good here, huh? And then the direction that this intersects my line will help me how I want to exert the pressure, because these are going to tend to want to bow out, so I'm going to want to push these this way. This I will want to push this way, this way, this way, and then this way. So that's the way the channels will be cut. So I'll finish drawing that out, and then I don't know, then we'll see how we can make that happen. Alright, this is my little redneck kind of routing area. This is the same piece of oak tread that I used to cut the rosette out on, and I just have these old oak chair rungs laying around, and I just screwed those down, cut a couple of notches in them so that I could take my project here and give it a little bit of stability while I'm doing the routing. So now I can push through here, and then with each one I can just rotate it a little bit and get this thing routed out. I don't know how far I'm going to get. I might not get through the first one, because this bit on this Craftsman is she's like me, she's old and tired, but we'll give it a shot. All right, we're getting a new bit, because even through this particle board, this took me a little longer than it should have. And now that I'm thinking of it, I think I'm missing something here. I think there's supposed to be something on the bottom of that router. Maybe some kind of plate. I'm just thinking. I don't really know. I guess I'll have to get online and look and see if I'm missing something there. But, alrighty then. Alright, well, we'll get back to this later.